Let us start with a simple Spring Boot application. I have a REST controller here with a single endpoint, hello, and when I run this application and access this endpoint, it returns me hello coders. At this point, there is no security and anyone can access this endpoint. Let me run this application and see the result. Now the application is up and it started on the port 8080. So localhost 8080 on the endpoint, hello. This API returns me hello coders and it doesn't ask for a password or username yet. Now let us add just one dependency Spring Security and let us see what happens. I'm going to pom.xml. Here right now I have these two dependencies and I'm now adding my Spring Security dependency here. Perfect. And let me save and then rerun. Wait, I will do a sync up. Perfect. Now I will rerun the application. It got started. Now let us see in the browser. Something interesting just happened. Instead of getting hello coders response, Spring Security is showing a login page. But wait a second. We never created a login page. We never wrote a security configuration. I just added one dependency, right? We never created a user also. So, where did this login page come from? This surprised almost every beginners learning Spring Security. Welcome back. In the previous video, we understand the fundamentals of Spring Security. In this video, we are going to implement Spring Security in a real Spring Boot application and understand exactly what happens behind the scenes. In the start of this video, we saw something interesting. We added just one dependency and suddenly a login page appeared. We didn't create any login page, we didn't write any security configuration, and we didn't create any users. So, why did that happen? The answer is Spring Boot auto configuration. Whenever a Spring Boot application starts, one of the first things it does is scan all the dependencies available in your project. When it finds the Spring Security dependency, it understands that your application needs security. Instead of waiting for you to configure everything manually, Spring Boot automatically creates a basic security configuration. As part of this default configuration, it protects every endpoint in your application and provides a default login page. That's why, without writing a single line of security code, your application suddenly asks you to log in. The login page is asking for a username and password, but we never created one. So, where do these credentials come from? Let's try logging in. When Spring Boot configures Spring Security, it don't just give this login page, it also creates a default user for testing. The default username is user. So, and the password is automatically generated every time the application starts. You can find it in the application console. So if you see here, this is our password. It will generate automatically every time the application starts. I'm copying it and then pasting it here and then clicking on sign in. If you see here, once the credentials are entered, Spring Security authenticates us and allows us to access the endpoint, hello, and give us a response, hello coders. Great, we are now able to access our API. But there is one problem. Spring Security is protecting every single endpoint. Is that what really we want? Imagine you are building a real application. Should users log in just to open the About page or the Contact page? Definitely not. Some APIs should be public while others should be protected. So, how do we tell Spring Security which endpoints are public and which require authentication? So, we need a way to tell Spring Security about these rules. And that's exactly why we create a security configuration. To keep our project organized, let's create a new package called config. This package will contain all our configuration classes. So new package, the name is config. Inside the config package, let's create a new class called SecurityConfig. SecurityConfig. This class will contain all the security rules for our application. Whenever we want to customize Spring Security, this is where we will do it. So, since this is the configuration class, we annotate it with @configuration. Configuration. Fine. Okay. And this tells Spring Boot that this class contains configuration beans. So inside this class, we need to create something called security filter chain. Spring Boot uses this bean to understand how our application should be secured. So first, we will mark the method with bean annotation. And then this method returns the security filter chain, which contains all our security rules. So security filter chain. Okay, this is the one. And the method name is security filter chain. And the parameter security HTTP. HTTP security is the object Spring provides to configure HTTP security. And that's it. Sorry. And it should throw any exception in case. Correct. And this method we are returning security filter chain. So return http.build. Fine. Right now, security filter chain doesn't contain any rules. So how do we actually define security rules? That's exactly what we will learn next. Think of security filter chain as a security checkpoint. Whenever a request comes into our application, it doesn't go directly to the controller. Instead, it first passes through the security filter chain. The security filter chain checks the security rules we have defined. If the request satisfies the rules, it allows the request to continue. Otherwise, it blocks the request. Now, let us start defining our own security rules using security filter chain. Let us see the controller first. I have added two more endpoints in our controller, the about and the contact. I want these two endpoints to be public, means without any security and without any login, I want this endpoint to be accessed. So let us do the security configurations in our security config class. Let's start by writing our first security rule. I'm configuring the first security rule for us. Now HTTP, and the method I'm going to use is authorizeHttpRequest. To define security rules, we are using this method. This is the method where the Spring Security can access all the endpoints. And we can use that for security configurations. And next, auth object. This auth object provided by the Spring to help us in the security rules. And now I want this method requestMatchers because first I'm going to uh, make the about and the contact endpoints as public. So they should be accessible to everyone without any logging in. So I'm going to use this requestMatchers method and identify if any about or contact Both these endpoints, if you find it, then I'm going to make it permit. I'm giving the permission. So what does this define? This defines these two endpoints. I'm permitting it without any logging in. That's it. This is our first security rule. Very simple, right? Let's test it. I'm running the application now. It started running and now it is up. Let's check in the browser. Localhost. I'm first going to check the about page. Perfect. Now you can see there is no login page and we got the response of about page. Let's check contact page also. Contact. Fine. We get the response for contact page also. So both these endpoints we made it public. That means we don't need any login for accessing these two endpoints. Anyone can access it. Fine. We have made this about and the contact endpoints public. But what about every other endpoints? Instead of writing a rule for each one individually, Spring Security gives us a convenient method, that is any request. That means any other request that is apart from above requests like about and contact, if any other request it comes, what I'm giving is authenticate. So and then form login I'm doing because we want a form login with defaults. Okay. So here about and contact I want them permit for every user without any login. But any other request other than these two endpoints, I want them authenticated. That means they should be login first before accessing the endpoints. Fine, right? Now test it. It is up. Now let's go to browser. Let us first check the profile endpoint. It should not accessible directly. Good. We see the sign in page for profile endpoint if I trying to access the profile endpoint. So it is not directly giving me the access to this particular endpoint. It is asking me to sign in. But when I go to uh, what is that about endpoint, it not asking me any login. It directly giving me the content in that about endpoint. Why? Why? Because we made it clear here. These two endpoints I can access directly. But any other request apart from this, I want them authenticated.
In this episode, we have learned how to configure Spring Security and protect our APIs. But when a user enters their username and password and clicks login, what actually happens behind the scenes? How does Spring Security verify the user? Where does it check the username and password? And how does it decide whether to allow access? We will understand the complete authentication flow step by step in the next episode. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you understand how to configure Spring Security. If you enjoyed it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions, please comment down. And I will see you in the next episode where we will learn the complete authentication flow in Spring Security.